Yeah, okay, time to live free. Plenty goals I'm achieving. Some real life topics and talking financial freedom. Mindset, soul and love, everything in between. This is Freedom Podcast. Tune in, live free. Hey, got my mindset right and I got the drive. Planning one day, no more job, no more 9 to 5. Love, money, mind. Love, money, mind. This is Freedom. Tune in, cause it's going down. Woo!
Hi, this is Anna Davidson from Your Freedom Podcast, and in this episode I interview Jeff James. I met Jeff a while ago as he was a student of mine setting up an Amazon business making eco-friendly products, and he actually started his business through the whole COVID lockdown this year, and he said to me if he was told he can make it this year, he could do anything. Success comes from being yourself, having a clear and focused vision and what you want to achieve, and a positive mindset, looking after your mind, body and yourself. Freedom is about being yourself, being authentic and being who you're meant to be. And this is what he said to me. Great guy. Can't wait to interview him. Jeff James. Thank you. Hi, Jeff.
Hello. Hi, Anna. Hello. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for sparing the time. I know I was just thinking earlier about when we met. I think it was just around about a year ago, actually, we first met. And I know that you've had some really good success this year throughout everything that has been happening with this pandemic in the world. With Inside Import Experts, which is a training academy that I'm part of and I coach within. And I know you have created an online business through selling products on Amazon. And so I really appreciate you coming on here, because it's been fab seeing how you've sort of, I suppose, grown over this pandemic, really. And on the Freedom Podcast, we focus on three pillars, really, as I call them: love, money and mind. So freedom in love, which everyone thinks is romantic relationships, but it's not. It's kind of self-care, self-love, because I think that's really important in life. Money, financial freedom. So freedom in money. Just because obviously life is a lot easier if you haven't got the stresses of worry. You can, travel and do all the things that you want to do. And then mind, which is having a good mindset. And I know that I think we've talked about before, like Fred in the head, and actually that power of self-development and nourishing the mind to not being,
absolutely,
positive 100% of the time. No human being can be.
No.
Always trying to look for the positive, or the, how things, perspective really on things. And those are the three things that I've learned really in my life that I think are important. And so I wanted to focus on those today, because I see that I see different things from your social media of things that you're doing in all of those pillars, really. Because you're sharing some really cool stuff out on Facebook and all the social media platforms. I've seen some really good kind of learnings or life lessons that you're learning on your journey right now. So just wanted you to share kind of how this all came about, really, what you kind of currently do, where you've come from, and what you're trying to build online. So
just jump in there. I think it's great what you're doing. I love these podcasts. I've been listening to quite a few now for, I think, what was it, 5 months you've been doing them?
Yeah, I think it was June.
Yeah, I think it was about June time. So it kind of came in when we're all in lockdown. So it was something to listen to, and someone I admire as well, like yourself. We met each other, I think, at the Expo event last year. I didn't know what I was doing there, and I saw you there, and I thought, my gosh, that's Anna Davidson, who's like really big in import experts, and I kind of admire what you've been doing over the last couple of years, and sort of watching from afar and how you've built your own business and stuff. And I think you're a really strong role model for people, but also what you're doing for women as well, which I think is great in business. I've enjoyed that. I admire that. So my own kind of journey, I mean, I've been on a bit of a roller coaster for the last couple of years in terms of, I had a difficult time in 2016, 2017, where I lost some people to illness. A good friend who died of cancer quite young, and that was quite bad. And then I lost my grandfather, who was an older person, but he was a very feisty kind of, he was the center of the family. And then my aunt who died. So it kind of all happened at once.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it was a hard time. And when you go through lots of different life events like that, it kind of makes you reevaluate your own life and your own mortality and where you're going and what you're doing. And it makes you ask those questions about what's the point of it all, I've worked in health and social care for quite a while. Been a social worker working with adults in safeguarding and protection of adults and things. And I've seen some, horrible stuff that people do to each other over the years. And you work hard, you do long hours and stuff, and you do your best for your family, you do your best, as a citizen, as a person, and you start evaluating stuff when you're faced with sort of life events like that and health problems and everything else. You kind of look and think, oh, what's the meaning of it all? And then you go for that period in 2017, 2018, and then you sort of you start, I think, changing a little bit and doing well. I've been doing a lot of work on myself over the last couple of years with physical exercise, meditation, yoga, a lot of self-work, a lot of learning, a lot of reading, soaking up stuff from people like Wayne Dyer and Bob Proctor and the SFM, input expert stuff.
Because recently we realised that we both knew Jody Dean as well.
Yeah, Jody Dean, he's really cool. And a bloke in London, he does a lot of he's very spiritual, very kind of...
I'm trying to think what episode he came on, because he came on this podcast as well. I interviewed him on this podcast, and I've been following he's been doing a few detoxes and healing stuff, which is quite inspiring. And so I knew that you were into that kind of stuff as regards to meditation. Did you used to teach yoga then, did you say?
No, I've done yoga since I was at uni. But I've sort of, you have these sort of things, I've been like sort of meditation and sort of spiritual development, but you start doing it, you go off the path for a couple of years, you come back in again.
It's consistency with everything, isn't it? We talk about consistency with business, but actually it's consistency with everything in your life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like you say about health and stuff like that, I think sometimes when you go through things, I'm sure I haven't obviously been through that where multiple people at the same time, because that must be hard, like you say. It kind of, suppose, woke you up at that moment, but where you then kind of make a focus on health, don't you, as well, and well-being.
Yeah, you start thinking, because I don't know, when you're young, when you're younger, you think you live forever, don't you? And you think you're young and you've got lots of energy and nothing can touch you, and unless unfortunately you've gone through illness and stuff. But working in adult social care, I was working with a lot of sort of death anyway, but for older persons, and you kind of become a bit detached from it a little bit, and it becomes a bit kind of not mundane.
Like it's a job, I suppose. When it happens to someone close to you, that's when it kind of hits you more, because obviously you got that.
Exactly. The emotional attachment there and stuff. Yeah. And you've got other people around you who are going through, some very close family members of mine who are going through some mental health issues as well at the time. So you kind of get this almost like a perfect storm in your life, which is hideous at the time. But these perfect storms, these hideous situations, these life events, they push you forward, I think. I think they're there to help you either go under or you go forward, and you get stronger, and you start looking outside of yourself, think, okay, how do I get through this? How do I develop? What do I want for myself? And you start
become more nourished, I think, as well. Like you feel that there's more depth within you from the whole experience thing, because I talk about finding the meaning of suffering, and I think that's what it does in a way.
Yes.
It helps you find, like you talk about finding the meaning of life. You go through this suffering, whatever it is, and it kind of, like you say, you either sink or it proves to you how strong you are, but you see the world in a different way, and actually for the better.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right. I think you can see the world in a better way. You've got to keep positive. And I think by character, I'm quite a positive person anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
But you do question your own belief system, don't you? And your own, who you are, what you are. Who am I as a human being? Who am I as a man? Who am I as a person? Female for yourself. But you sort of question yourself, and I think not everyone does that. But I think when you do it, it can be very cathartic, kind of very like a healing process. And I'd realised that I had a lot of stuff from my history as well. Those other things, bits of bullying at school, bits of abuse over the years. You're in and out of different things, and these things, when you go through a period of change like that, monumental change, all this stuff comes to the surface, and you realise you're carrying stuff with you didn't even know you had.
Yeah, exactly. It does. It kind of opens up all these different kind of wounds, I suppose, from your whole of your history that we've that's okay, and pushed it under the carpet, and that's okay. And it's when it all comes out.
Yeah.
I totally relate to that. And I think it always comes back to that self-worth, doesn't it, as well? Like you believe in yourself as well within it all. Yeah, it's interesting. I think because I've spoken about this before, because obviously I always talk about, being in an abusive relationship and what that kind of, but there's people listening to this that could have gone through what you went through, maybe multiple close people passing away at the same time. They all say life comes in threes, don't we have that? Oh, life.
Yeah. It's like buses. You don't get a bus for ages until you get through it at the same time, don't you?
Exactly. And the impact of that, people listening, because I know obviously one thing about you, actually, I'm going off on a tangent now, but I'm going to do it, is that you are definitely a people person. And it's interesting listening to everything that you've done and you experience, and also you work in social care. You always do want to help other people. And that can be a challenge sometimes because we take on a lot from other people on our shoulders. Because there was a period in time where I just couldn't help other people because I had so much going on with myself. And I felt guilty for that. Because I was always the person in our group of friendships that people would come to. But you are a real people person. But if people are listening to this, let me get back on track.
Yeah.
People who are listening to this who may have had even just one person pass away and it's really affecting them.
Yeah.
What could you share with them? Because this is why I put this whole podcast together, that hearing other people's stories of going through, we don't ever have the same story, but we have people who go through similar experiences, and hearing their story comforts us in our time of worry and stress and feeling like we can't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
So those people that are in it right now, what advice would you give them?
I don't know. It's difficult because when you come out the other side and you look back, you think, okay, these people are in your life for a reason, and then you lose them. And then there's that gap, there's that period of the emptiness, isn't there, of losing someone, that kind of gap that they leave in your life. And I think a lot of it comes down to your belief system. What do you believe in when happens when you pass away, I suppose, in terms of death? And, I was brought up in Christianity, it's Christian school and everything else, but I'm not a Christian. I don't see myself as a Christian at all. And my belief is more sort of spiritual in terms of I believe in life after death. So I think if you have a sort of context that you have a belief system, so I believe in life after death, I believe that the life is there to experience and to love and to grow and to develop. And I think these people come into your life to be part of your life at that point in time, and then they move. But I think I see it as even the death process can be a positive process in terms of the experience, if that makes sense. So I think we're supposed to experience both light and dark, good and bad, throughout the whole life. Because if our life was perfect and our life was fantastic all the time and we had no problems, no trouble, we wouldn't develop and grow as a person, would we?
And it'd be pretty boring, wouldn't it?
It would be boring, yeah. And it's difficult, I think. Losing an older person than losing a child. I mean, losing a child must be a hideous, horrible situation. And I heard of someone recently this week whose child has got a terminal illness, and how you deal with that. But that life experience, whatever it is, it will change you, and it will maybe help you develop in your life. So I think looking at death is how you look at death, I think, and how you approach death. I'd lost my grandfather who died. He was the last one of lots of grandparents who died. Not very lucky, I was sort of, in my 30s and stuff, and I had quite a lot of grandparents still alive, but they all kind of died quite quickly. So suddenly big parts of your family leave, and big parts of your social structure leaves, and your friendships leave and things, because you're friends with people in your family and that, hopefully. And I think it's okay. You start reshifting, and that your parents go up a stage. So they're the older people on the next rung of the ladder, and then you're the ones.
I think it hits you when it's people your age, isn't it? Doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that is hard. I think because my friend, she was sort of similar sort of age, and she was always so young, vibrant and energy, and she was a good person. You think, oh, why would it happen to a good person? Which is just crazy because it happens to anybody, doesn't it? But and I think you think what it does do, I think it gives you more of a laser. What I got out of the experiences, and again, it sounds quite selfish because it's about what you're focusing on, is you've got a short period on this earth in a short period of time, and you've got to make the best of it, because you don't know when it's going to be over. None of us know when we're going to finish. We don't know when our life's going to end and when we're going to shuffle off. So I think it focuses you down, like, okay, what do I want for my life? What experience do I want for my life? Where am I going? I always say to myself, on my kind of deathbed thing, what do I look back on my life and think, okay, I've had a fantastic life. It's been exciting. It's been adventurous. It's been brilliant. I've loved and traveled and all this sort of stuff. Or do I want to think, well, I've been quite safe. I've got to the end of my life. I'm quite happy. I've got a nice big house, lots of possessions, but what experience have I had? You know,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
got to mean something to you, and I think, in it. So I think I got that from that experience. And you,
Yeah, I did the same.
did
'Cause
you? Great.
I wanted to go more traveling, take the boys to amazing places, which has been my kind of little missing point for this year. I've really missed being able to just travel. But I'm thinking about getting a camper van now, so I'm kind of thinking I can go around the UK or Europe when we can get out. But last year it was like took the boys to Singapore and Caribbean and all these like amazing places, because it's like I wouldn't have done that before.
No.
It was about, right, let's live. You know, people thought I was a bit crazy sort of taking my 9-year-old to Singapore, thinking, oh, you know, they're too young to value it.
No.
It's like, no, I just want to go for life and have all these experiences. It's selfish, really. It's me to have the experiences with them, you know, like, have the experiences, but I don't want to wait until I'm really old and then watch them have the experience. I want to have it with them, you know what I mean?
It's interesting you say that. I think experience, that's that you've hit the nail on the head there, Anna. It's experience, isn't it? And we think of ourselves, oh, I've got to work hard, I've got to work until I get my retirement, then I have a good time when I'm 65 or 70, whatever it is now for people going that sort of direction. And I think, why can't you enjoy your life the whole time? Why can't we enjoy every moment of our life, even the rubbish stuff? We should be enjoying it and embracing it and getting something from it. I mean, you've got 2 young lads and you're enjoying your time with them and you're traveling and stuff, and it's fantastic. I think sometimes people say, oh, they make judgments, don't they? They say, oh, well, you know, why are you taking a 9-year-old to Singapore? You must be crazy, sort of thing. But you're going to getting over the fear factor of that. You're not listening to that narrative in your head. You're thinking, no,
exactly.
And that's why you are successful. That's why you've pushed past the barrier of what most people live like, because you're not listening to that fear, are you? That fear factor in your life.
Yeah.
I think that
it's funny how you kind of get to the point where everyone cares about what people think. I remember, you know, when people make these statements saying, no, I don't really care about, but everyone does, but it's at different levels. Because I've said before, I don't really care what people think about me, but I do. Because if someone started sending me hate mail, it would bother me. Or if I did a live and someone said, oh, that was a really rubbish live because you think that you have got a big ego or something like that, I'd be like, what? I haven't got a big ego. And so, you know, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like if you'd react to that, but I probably wouldn't react as in start typing things back, probably just ignore it.
Yeah.
But I definitely don't. Whereas I was bothered like what family and close friends really thought about me. I don't now, because I'm happy doing what I'm doing. It actually doesn't matter what anyone thinks. Which is interesting. Whereas I used to be bothered a lot more. You know.
I think we do tend to, we are almost a projection of what other people think we should be sometimes, especially with parents. My mum said recently, oh, make sure you keep your feet on the floor, Jeff, you know, don't get your head turned by all this other stuff that's going on around you at the moment. And I was thinking, but why?
That's like fear, isn't it?
It is,
But that's what parents do, I think.
They want to protect you, don't they, and keep you grounded and keep you safe and everything else. And I said, but it's okay, you know. And if you don't break out of your barriers and break past the fear barrier and try different things and experiment, then you're never going to grow, are you, as a person?
No, exactly. And I think that's what I know. You know, you set on this journey to be online and to create that financial freedom online. I also see you doing a lot as regards to self-care, or trying to do a lot with self-care, because sometimes it's hard getting the balance, isn't it? We all have that challenge with time. And I think you've got, just thinking of my 3 pillars, you know, your mind as well. I know you shared a lot of stuff around our minds and the power of our minds and threading the head, as I call it. So what is the mission? What is the future goal then? Where are you heading? Because I know you've had some success already with some products that you've been selling and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the thread in the head, the chattering monkey on your shoulder, I think you're right. You have to, and I do a lot of stuff around the mind, and I've got my website, Think You're Happy, which is kind of like it's like your equivalent to a podcast, and it's kind of like my I suppose being the social worker, helping people. And I think everyone has got a right to be happy in their life. I think we've got a right to be happy on this planet, this earth, this experience we're having. And I think it's about helping people get past the fear barrier, take back control of their life, and create a happier life. I'm not saying it's going to be perfect every day, because I don't think it should be perfect, but get into a place where you, even the rubbish stuff when it's happening, you can stand back a little bit and think, oh, that's why it's happening. That's the experience. And what I'm going to get from that is this, and learn from it. I think you said something about sort of, your financial freedom going forward. And I've been in this process of developing my own business online for Amazon FBA since March this year. We started the sort of challenge and sort of developing, looking for products, getting them up online, and the whole process. And it was about creating a new life, creating a different way of life. And when you've had your eyes open to different way of living, like a digital lifestyle, whatever it is that Stuart Ross talks about, and he was the one who kind of started off for me in the SFM, when he started talking about that and thinking, yeah, your life isn't just a 9-to-5 job. You can do other stuff, and you can be inspired by other people like yourself, Anna, like Jay Bansal, like Stuart Ross and Jay Kupizak, and all those other people out there doing this stuff. You think, actually, I can do that. I want to do that. But until you start believing in yourself and you're thinking, I can do it, and breaking through that fear barrier, because it all attaches to self, it's all kind of linked, I think. Then you can start thinking, you take some risks, you start moving forward, you take action, you focus on where you're going and what you want to do. And yeah, I mean, I've got 3 main streams of products online, but 9 all total, different variations, different sizes and stuff. So, and if I look back a year ago to where I am now, I was thinking, oh my God, what are you doing? You must be mad. I've never even considered that I'd be selling online and getting stock in from suppliers across the world, and checking it, and images and advertising, and this huge thing that's happening, and I've created
and also this year to do that must have really impacted you.
We had a conversation, didn't we? I think in one of the sort of mental stuff. If you can make it this year in COVID-19, when everything was locking down and everything was crazy, you can make it any year, really, because it's got to get easier, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. Wow. So what is the goal then in the future? Because I do see you doing. I know we were talking earlier about the possibility of you being a coach and things like that. Where do you want to get to with all of this? What's the goal?
Well, I mean, I think I was just sort of testing out different streams, different kind of ways of making it online and developing your own business. And the import-export stuff, the kind of having things on Amazon, was a physical product. I wanted to sort of look on eco-focused products, no plastic packaging, made from sustainable materials like stainless steel, which is low impact, carbon impact, importing via low carbon impact. So that was kind of my passion there. But the future, I think, is growing the products, keep growing them, bringing my costs down, because, as you know, if you're working on Amazon or whatever, your costs can go up and down with advertising and everything else, and FBA costs and things. So it's kind of bringing them down. It's honing the business, developing more products with other suppliers. I do enjoy linking in with people. And I said the whole process is, I believe you learn something, you do it, and then you teach it back. And I kind of like sharing stuff. Again, it goes back to Think You're Happy stuff, where you're trying to help other people get to a better place. And if you've got someone who's
been such a, you're such a well-respected, massive value to our community, I think, inside the Import Expert, because you do share. So it's not just the content that you share, but you are there for each other. It does really come across that you are. Yeah, some people just not are people, are they? And you enjoy sort of helping others.
Yeah. I think
teaching it as well, like what was it? Think. That's what Jay talks about, isn't it? Think.
Yeah.
Think, do. Is it think, do, teach?
Learn, do, teach. Learn, do, teach. I think it is. Learn,
do, teach.
Yeah. But you meet some. I've made so many fantastic new friends across the world just by this process this year, and then it kind of moves out. You meet other people and you start making contacts with people. I've met up with some people, even though it's been a sort of social distance meet up, but Zoom meetings and stuff, and WhatsApp groups, and you're linking with people.
It's like a whole network, isn't it?
Yeah, and you meet some cool people. There's a chap I think it was in Germany, who does things with his body and sort of aerobic. What's it called? Like not ventriloquist, contortionist. And there's people with different lifestyles and families, and you connect with them. And I think if you just take time to listen to people and be compassionate and caring, and you can't give everything because you have nothing left for yourself, but you're there for people and you help listen to them, and it's just a little conversation, like a 5-minute conversation, can move that person massively ahead. And if you give them confidence in themselves that they can do something, then you're helping them to create their own dream, I think. And if you're helping them to create their own dream, they'll hopefully then pass it forward to somebody else. There's that film years ago, wasn't there? Pay It Forward.
Yeah, exactly.
I know the actor in it is, we don't talk about him anymore, but the idea was great in the terms that the idea is that you kind of, if you give it out, you give compassion, you give love, you give support to others, then hopefully they'll pass that on, and you can see it change kind of like the community.
It's like evolving, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's why I love the what is it? Is it Think Happy or I
Think You're Happy, as it YOUR. And it's just, I mean, I do videos and I do blogging and stuff, and it's just about helping people take back control of their lives, really. It's very similar to sort of building a digital life, but it's more bigger than that, and it's
more about happiness, isn't it? So if people wanted to check that out, how would they? Are you on the socials, or where do they?
I mean, I've got a Facebook page, thinkyourhappy.com. As a website, thinkyourhappy.com. There's newsletters. I do meditations, and you get 3 bespoke meditations if you want to join up and have a regular newsletter, and a bit of a community, really. I think it's just ideas, and it's a lot of it is to do with changing your mind, the mindset stuff. So it's like it's based on particular reprogramming your brain. A lot of I am affirmations. I think you're quite big on that, aren't you? I am positive, I'm good. And it's what you come back to what you're saying before about being positive, and it's not like sort of the Pollyanna kind of approach. It's not like rainbows and unicorns all the time, because we all deal with stuff every day, don't we? But I think it's keeping perspective and being objective about what's happening. Somebody yesterday, I was talking to him, a friend of mine, and he had a leak in his house. It was an apartment block, and there was leaking through the floor, and making a mess and everything else. But he's been doing a lot of meditation, a lot of work on himself recently about how he reacts to stuff. I said, well, how did you feel during that? He said, it's interesting. Whereas before I would have reacted to it and got really stressed and upset about it, I kind of objectified it, stood back a bit and think, okay, what's the situation? How do I handle it? He got help really easy. He didn't get emotionally involved, and he was able to sort it out really easily. And I think having regular meditation every day is brilliant.
Does that,
Spending 5 minutes every day, 10 minutes, just getting in the zone. Hasn't got to be all kind of.
I've been doing a walk every day, because I used to do walks on weekends, but because it's got really cold, I thought, I give myself excuse, it's too cold, it's too cold,
too wet.
And all that. I've just been doing like a 10-15 minute walk. I actually didn't do, yesterday was the first day I didn't, but I was literally back to back to back to back, and then I looked, it was dark, and I thought, I'll do an extra walk today. So today I'm doing an extra long walk. But just being out with nature, if you know, when I always say to people, if you're feeling a bit down, all you want to do is, like, I suppose that whole thing of pull the duvet over yourself, or just lie on the sofa and just not face the world. Because I know I felt like that. But actually going out for a walk in nature on your own or with other people, that's why people buy dogs, isn't it? So they can go out. I'm happy to go on a walk on my own. That's another thing, actually. I'm happy to go to a restaurant on my own, happy to go to a walk on my own. I think a lot of times the brain thinks about what other people think about us. And actually it doesn't really matter, does it? But walking in nature really, really does help.
It's the energy, and walking like barefoot on grass as well can help, can't it? And that connection with nature and that vibration that you get. I believe in sort of energy and vibration and connecting with things like that.
Isn't it?
Grounding, and even your diet. My diet's changed quite a lot in the last year. Like eating much more, really, like more vegan food, less. Don't touch meat. And I feel so much lighter on it, and happier, and your mood feels more constant, doesn't it? Do you meditate when you're walking? Is that how you do it, or do you sort of sit down and?
I do both. I've done a whole mixture, really, and depending on my day or how I'm feeling. The walk thing has just been quite relaxing, really, and just getting out and getting some fresh air. And I think sometimes kind of meditate on it, sometimes I don't. But I end up doing this whole routine at bedtime, having magnesium salt bath.
Nice.
And like all the lavender oils and things like that. And it's just because even if you just your whole day, because obviously I have a lot of screen time in my day. And sometimes I feel like I'm in this bubble of my whole online world, and I'm not in reality. And so I have to switch off from that. So I have this whole wind down procedure.
Yeah.
which involves a bath and then meditation afterwards. And just, I know that if I've done it right, I'm like, I fall asleep halfway through what I'm doing. So.
And that's those salt baths, the ones like the big bags you get from like the super
absolutely.
fantastic stuff. And that apparently, I was reading somewhere else that those salt crystals are very grounding and they help your body energy change.
Well, I've for a long time I've had magnesium salt, well, just salt bath, but I've been getting these magnesium flakes, which I've read that are like 5 to 10 times more powerful.
Yes.
And they get in by your skin. It's like taking magnesium supplements, but apparently through your skin.
Yeah.
That probably osmosis and all, it's removal of all those toxins and
yeah.
I definitely feel healthier. And since I've just been doing this juicing thing that we were saying before with Jodie, it's just, I just feel like all my aches and pains, not that I had loads of aches and pains, but you sit at a desk, you have sometimes back pain and things like that, just feel lighter and freer, like you say, as regards to plant-based. I do like fish, so I will be going back
I do
at some point, but it's been really nice just feeling really healthy and taking all these different supplements. I've got so much more energy and not being sluggish, so.
And we can see that. I've noticed a change in the last 6 months or so. You do seem to have a lot more buoyancy around you in terms of you can take more on. You're doing a lot more on social media, and you got your affirmation cards has come out, haven't you? And all these different exciting stuff happening for you. And I think because we're in such a whirlwind, almost like the eye of the storm sometime. I mean, this year in the UK and across the world with the COVID-19 and everything else, it's been a bit of a nightmare for many people. But if you can keep yourself centered and grounded and focus on where you're going and what you're doing, and by changing your diet, I mean, you do exercise, you walk in, do you do yoga at all?
I have done space, but it's just not consistent enough. Like I've also done my dumbbell weights, and that's not consistent enough. I'd have like these little spurts of doing different things, but I'm not consistent. I'd like to do the whole yoga thing like every day in some respect.
It's interesting. I think routine's key in it. They say you can start forming habits after 60 days of doing something. So in the morning, I think morning routines. Everyone who's successful talks about morning routines, don't they?
Yeah.
So I get up, I do meditation for 5-10 minutes, then I do my yoga for sort of 10 minutes, and then I'm ready to start my day. But it's like 20 minutes at the beginning, and you've got to squeeze it in, and then maybe sort of 10 minutes at night for a cup of tea, doing a bit of weights and some yoga and that. But it's that consistent, regular.
Yeah, it is. And the things that you don't have, it's like if I have a supplement that runs out, if I don't reorder it, it's just like you've got to have these things in place that are consistent.
Yes, absolutely.
And they really do work. I think people listening to this, they really do work, because I remember hearing all this stuff miles before I was doing it. But when you start taking action, just not doing all of them at once, just adding one thing at a time into your routine.
Yeah.
It really does help your whole well-being, I think.
Yeah. And it's what works for you, isn't it? I try to take too many vitamins. I take like spirulina. Do you know spirulina?
Yeah, I put those smoothies and stuff.
Brilliant stuff. It's really good. And you get it quite cheaply sometimes, bags of it and stuff, But spirulina is very good. I do sprout seeds, sprout seeds.
Yeah. I have seen them, I don't take them, but
I get a bag of like
salad. I put them on salad and things.
I got a little sprouter in the kitchen, and I do like I don't know, like chickpeas or green lentils, and just sprout them for a few days. And I have a bowl of them every morning for breakfast.
Oh, nice.
And I think it sounds delicious, doesn't it? But that a few blueberries and a bit of a protein shake, and that's kind of, you think you'd be hungry by 9, but you're not. It kind of, and your body, I think it adjusts to sugar and bulky stuff.
Also, if you put in more goodness in, it's lasting longer than if you just having sugar that gives you that high and then it's gone low. Whereas anything that's healthy kind of lasts longer, doesn't it? And we don't need all these foods that we say. We're surrounded by all this marketing that's trying to get us to die in some respects and give us diabetes and give us all these health conditions. And we don't need it all, do we? I just feel like, I feel so, don't get me wrong. If I want to, I've loved this lockdown too, following this stuff, because kind of everyone needs a coach, don't they? And I'm like, following someone and kind of being in a group, and it just helped me stay on track with my health. And I've really enjoyed that, because I kind of feel like I've needed to, because I've been in a bit of a lockdown. So it's kind of surrounding yourself with people who are doing things that you want to do.
Yeah,
we all have to invest in ourselves. If I don't do stuff like that, if I'm not proactive, it doesn't really come from me. I have to gain it from the community.
it's that initial stimulation, isn't it? That initial kind of catalyst to change. It's like anything, like digital world, learning about new skills, meditation. If you got someone you admire, think, oh, that person's doing it, they've made it. And they say, don't they, if you want to make something, do something new, look to the person doing it the best and then follow them.
Don't follow them, yeah.
But
and it's accountability though, isn't it? If you follow someone and then you kind of commit to, I find that if I publicly commit to something, then I'm going to do it. So
yeah, absolutely.
Making these commitments.
And I think it goes hand in hand with success as well, because I think it's not just about, the whole online digital world. People listening are thinking, oh, I want to, be on Amazon, or I want to be an affiliate marketer, or whatever it is, or have my own business online. But I think it goes hand in hand. You've got to feel it's the mind, and it's the body, and it's your environment. And then I said before, when I did a talk recently about this sort of thing, and I think 80% of your success is all the other, it's the mindset stuff. It's changing your mind, changing your body, changing your routine, changing your habits. And the 20% is the actual making it. Because if you're not in the right place over here, you're not going to get it over here, sort of thing.
Exactly. That's hit the nail on the head, really.
And you can see it in people who are doing it. People like Tony Robbins and all those other people, Gary Vee, I think it is. They're all doing this stuff. They got the routines, they got their exercise, they got their motivation, they got their focus. And as well, another friend of mine was saying, you've got to keep topping it up as well. You've got to keep topping up. Linking in. I mean, you're making it now. You're someone I admire. You're doing it. You've been doing it for what?
You do have to keep topping it up, because also it's like you can also pull away from still learning, because you're, especially if you're doing things like coaching. I proactively now get into the routine of having set times a week where I'm learning from others, broaden my knowledge, increase, to be up in the things of the changes of the world, of what's going on in all of these things, not just necessarily, marketing, but health and all those kind of things. So you're right, we're topping up.
So I mean, people like yourself, when you're at your stage that you're at, where do you look? Where do you go? Think, okay, who do I admire? I mean, I suppose it depends on where you want to develop next, I suppose, isn't it, really?
Exactly. As regards to, I mean, I follow the whole Gary Vee, and I also like the life of the CEO.
Oh, yeah.
And just, I'm into things like, meditation, yoga, but probably more meditation that I follow. I've been having this whole spiritual thing recently with numbers, numerical numbers.
Oh yeah, synchronicity.
It's been with 333. It's crazy. This week has been mad with the amount of times I've had it. I woke up and it was 333. Like, suddenly thought, I need to go get the boys from school, and it's 333 when I look at the time.
Brilliant.
I was working out some numbers in my Amazon business, and 333.
Really? Fantastic.
Twice. Working out profits on something. Just loads of stuff like that. And
so the universe is telling you something there, isn't it? And 1111 is quite popular, isn't it? 1111. And when I was starting out on this journey last year, I was getting 1111 everywhere. The clock was 1111. I was in the car and looked at the clock, it was 1111, and things were stopping at 1111. All this weird stuff. And thinking, oh yeah, really. And you start looking it up, what it means. So 333 linked to angel numbers, where they say, I don't know, online. They have specific meanings, don't they? About
it's basically saying that your guidance is, you've got your guidance there, and you're on the right track for growth, and it's that kind of thing that the angels are there.
And people listening think it's a bit woohoo, but it's not. We're pretty practical people, aren't we? We're both very practical. We've kind of we've both come from business backgrounds, or social care, or yourself in pharmacy and that. And, I think, but if you find it's working for you and it resonates with what, you're thinking and what you're feeling, and I think it helps you to move forward, and it helps you to succeed. It doesn't really matter what you believe in.
Exactly. It's education as well, isn't it? It's go out there and educate him. I used to think, oh yeah, it's a bit woo-woo, but it's going out there and finding the information, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, the Secret. I don't know if you put, everyone's heard of The Secret.
It's one of the first things I saw. Really.
Exactly. Yeah. And that idea itself, and Abraham Hicks, with Esther Hicks and Abraham, the one she's sort of channeling, isn't she? This sort of spiritual entity, non-physical. But all that stuff is brilliant. And I think if you start opening your mind up to things like that, then other doors open up and other ways of thinking, and you start thinking, okay, I am not just this physical body. I am more than that. I am spiritual. I am non-physical. I am ethereal. And I think once you realize that, and you may not be ready for it, it depends on where you are on your journey.
You have to be ready, don't you?
Have to be ready to be ready, haven't you? And I think if you start believing that, then you think, anything is possible, because we can create our own reality, can't we? We can create our own, we can manifest stuff. And
exactly.
have you found, I mean, do you recognize that manifestation stuff as well?
Definitely, yeah. I definitely work on all of that.
Yeah.
And like loads of synchronicity stuff has happened around manifestation for me.
I loved your cards. I think your cards you're doing for the digital business, one of them says, I am worthy. I think that's really important, isn't it? You've got to feel worthy and love yourself, love who you are.
And I think by helping other people, that helps you.
Yeah.
Because especially if anyone's listening to this going through a rough patch, actually helping other people distracts from what you're going through.
Yeah.
Also makes you realise other people have got challenges that are different than yours and sometimes can be worse than yours. And also you're helping them get back on track or whatever. And it does really help you feel grateful for your own life. It's been one thing that I've done when things were tough, is helping other people, because it's helped me in return, if you know what I mean.
Giving out and getting back, it's that circle, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, brilliant. Well, thank you for coming on and sharing everything you've been, where you've come from and why, for us to understand the why, and all the good stuff that you're doing right now online. So I know you shared earlier, share it again. I always get it wrong. Think you're happy.
Yeah, think you're happy is think you're happy, all one word.com. That's my website, just the blogging stuff. But I mean, my products are sort of, I'm in a company called Freedom 45. So that's my kind of focus, my products and things. But it's about freedom. It's about taking back control of your life. It's about making the best of what you've got. And I think as well, if someone like me, if I can change my life around, going from one particular position, I don't come from a wealthy background. I don't come from anything particularly special. My skills are okay. But if I can demonstrate that I can make it and I can do stuff and I can change my life around, and people like yourself and Jay and everybody else in the community can change things around, I think anyone can. It just takes some focus. It takes some good teachers, some good mentors. It takes drive. It takes motivation, some positivity. I think, anyone can really make a change in their life.
And it's also making that change into feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because being comfortable, we just carry on doing what we've always done, and that impacts. It's like if you want to lose weight, it feels uncomfortable at the beginning, the new foods that you're introducing, all the exercise you're doing, it's all routine and getting consistency. And the same with building a business. The same with, I felt like that if you're stuck in a relationship that's toxic, it's uncomfortable to get out of that, so any change, I think if you're feeling uncomfortable, that's great.
It's a good sign.
Making changes for a better future, whatever that be, whether it be health or work or mindset or whatever. So feeling uncomfortable is definitely the way to go. So I always ask everybody this at the end of the interview, because obviously it's called Your Freedom Podcast. So what does freedom mean to Jeff?
I think it's, a year ago I would have said it's freedom from the 9 to 5. That's my beginning motivation when I was evaluating stuff. But now, not so much. I think it's freedom to be yourself, and freedom to be the true, authentic self that you are. Freedom not to fear yourself or fear being who you are. I think so many people, you were saying it earlier about people, you worry about what people think. And I think we do worry too much about what other people think of us. We try and be something we're not, maybe. We try and be something we are. And I've been happier this year because I've been more of my authentic self, especially on social media and online, this sort of conversation. Whereas a year ago, I'd have been too scared to be on camera or talk on a video. Maybe so I think it's
been everywhere recently. You've been on the Instagram story interview, weren't you?
The Jeff show, But I think, well, if people want to hear what you've got to say, and that's great. If they don't, they just turn off. But I think it's freedom to be authentic, freedom to love yourself as well. I think self-love is very important. And I think you know, I didn't love myself for a long time. I didn't like who I was. I didn't like how I looked. I didn't like lots of things, you know, because you carry all that baggage with you from your history, from school, from relationships, from all sorts of things, your parents or whatever. My parents are great, but generally, you know, other people can. And I think it's freedom from that noise in your head, you know, that chattering monkey on your shoulder. It's getting to a happier place and being, you know, happier in yourself. I think happier. You know, it's not so much, it isn't all about the money or that sort of thing so much, although it's nice.
I think you've completely hit the nail on the head. It's being comfortable, isn't it, in your authentic self, being comfortable with you and believing that you are worthy with that I am worthy, and just being think you're happy, you know, think you being confident enough to be you are enough type of thing. And I think
I like that. You like the I am enough. The I am enough movement is a massive thing at the moment, isn't it?
It's good.
I mean, you're. I mean, I know we sort of come to the end now, but you're doing it yourself. You're coming into a more authentic self. You're putting yourself out there a lot more, aren't you? You're very good. You're a good role model for women in business, which I really admire. That I think we need more women in business, especially on the online world. A lot of it's dominated by men at the moment, which is fine.
It's a man's world in the business.
It is. And I'm saying this as a man, but I'm more of a feminist man if I can be one. I try and support the feminist movement, and I think that you know, you're coming from a situation where you've moved away from abuse and everything else, and you're helping women move forward and helping them realize that they are worthy. They can do online business. It isn't just a man's world. You know, women can do it too. There's no reason why women can't.
Exactly. And it's just it's that belief in yourself, what you really want to do, isn't it? And if I can make a difference helping other people, then all my suffering's been worthwhile. That's why I say it.
Exactly. And you are where you are now because of your suffering.
Exactly. And that's why I'm grateful for it. I was saying it to my mum, and she was like, "What?" As I was like talking ridiculous. But I'm like, if I hadn't gone through this experience, again, it's another experience, isn't it? When I was right in it, I probably didn't see it like that. But you know, now that I'm like out of it, I wouldn't say completely out of it, because I also kind of think there could always be things that I don't want to be like everything is perfect now. Things could start happening. But I think it's all made me just a much better mother, friend, daughter, you know, and be so grateful for the things I've got. And it's now my time to give back and inspire other people. And if I can do that and help other people, then it's great. You know, I help a lot of women who are going through domestic abuse. They're on Messenger. From a group that I'm in, I help them do their own legal paperwork and things like that, because I've represented myself, and that feels really good, you know, because I know and understand that suffering when you're in the middle of all of that stuff. And you know, even if it's just keep going, take time for you, just chill out tonight, don't do anything. Just being that support, because there's not many people that understand when you're in it. That was one of the things I found, and that was one of the reasons why I wanted to do this podcast as well. I think everybody I talked to that's been through anything, you've even explained some of the stuff when, you know, you had a lot of people pass away. The same kind of things that you go through, where you kind of, it opens your eyes that you want to find this more meaning, and then it makes you value different things and make you want to take different changes, you know. Not everybody, but it you know, people are sort of woken up a little bit, I think. And
absolutely.
Not the same, you know, it's not like, oh, every domestic abuse person. It's just, there's always something, whether it's your own health and you get hit by, you know, because one of my friends, we talk a lot, and she got breast cancer. And we talk very similar on these things. My cousin, you know, lost her baby. And all these, you know, it's just like these kind of wake-up calls, isn't it? Help us reflect life in a different way. But actually, at the time, we think we're the only one going through it. There's absolutely loads of people out there, and that is why I wanted to put this podcast together, to share all these different stories about how people have found the strength just to carry on, really. Say that, you know, oh, I built this multi-million-pound empire, but great if you can. That's my goal for 2021. I want to hit a million. That's my thing.
Brilliant. You got to have your goals. You got to have your dreams, haven't you?
Exactly. So you've got to have your monetary thing, but of course, for me, it's like, it's so much more than that, you know. find the boys, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but I can see that, and people can see that in you. That's why we follow people like yourself, because you can see the authenticity, the passion there, the things you say, how you react to people, and it's real, isn't it? I don't want to follow people who are just about the money and about the self-image stuff. It doesn't interest me. There's loads of people out there like that, you know, but
exactly.
but you're giving back. You care. You've got a story to tell. You've got passion there, and you know.
And that's why it's important to just be you, because for so long,
absolutely.
I felt like I needed to be someone else, and we don't need to be.
No.
We are enough.
We
don't need to change who we are. We just need to share who we are, and grow within it, and be okay with kind of making little stumbles and mistakes, being okay with ourselves. It's totally fine, isn't it?
And we're stronger together as well. I think you've hit some fantastic nails on the head there, really, Anna, in terms of what you're saying, in terms of giving back and a bit of support. And I think once you become your authentic self, you start attracting like attracts like, don't they? You start vibrating that energy, and you start getting back into that energy. People like yourself. Until I started being my authentic self online and out there, I wasn't getting that. It was like a brick wall. And then you start being yourself, you start resonating that vibration, that sort of energy vibration they talk about into Abraham Hicks and sort of law of attraction stuff. But you start getting back, and I've started making friends now, making mates and friends online who are going for the same sort of stuff, thinking the same sort of ideas, and you kind of think, oh, that's kind of like my tribe. I resonate with, you know, and you feel you connect. You've got something in common with people. You don't feel so alone, do you? Or so isolated.
Exactly. Because the online world can be sometimes quite lonely. You've got to make these connections.
And it can be a bit false at times, because there are people protecting an image, aren't they? Especially on Instagram and that. But but you think if you kind of you can. I think it's being authentic, it's giving of yourself, but you know, protecting yourself at the same time. But I think it's really
just being you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brilliant. Well, thank you ever so much for sharing. It's always good to talk to you, Jeff.
Oh, lovely to talk to you as well.
Really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And everybody listening, you know, think you're happy, go and check it out. And all the best for the future. I look forward to seeing how your Amazon business grows and all the good stuff that you're going to put back into the universe as you do it.
Hopefully.
Really appreciate it.
Namaste. Yeah. I love Namaste. It means I don't know if you know this, but you probably do anyway, but Namaste means I bow to the divine in you. I quite like that. So
that's what it means.
Namaste, Anna. And everybody else listening.
All right. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.
Hey, thank you for listening. Hope you had a blast. Here to elevate your life. It's the Freedom Podcast. Love, money, mine. Love, money, mine. Wanna see you all win. Wanna see you all shine. Just make sure that you subscribe. Bringing good vibes. Join the Facebook group. Now it's time to change your life. Hope you come back. Right now is the chance. This is an experience. It's the Freedom Podcast. Hey.